and welcome to another conversation in the car. As you can see, I'm not actually in the car. I decided it was a beautiful day. It's a bit chilly, so I thought I'd get some sun, so I'm outside for this conversation. And this conversation, I wanted to talk about hate. Hate for yourself, hate for your body, maybe hate for your life. Could be a lot of things that maybe you hate. Hate's a strong word. Maybe it's just dislike. It could even be disgust and self-loathing. All of the things that I felt about myself. I definitely had an abundance of hate and self-loathing and disgust for myself and my body. My body was never good enough. It never looked good enough. It was never skinny enough. It was never fit enough. It was never enough in all aspects. And I did my best to make it enough. But it was hard to make it enough when I didn't believe that I was enough. How could I make this one part of me enough if all of the other parts of me didn't feel as if they were enough? I have learnt so much in the last few years as I've begun to explore the inner workings of my mind and my body. And I've come to realize that things are not going to change if you don't have the proper belief to encourage that change, to support that change. How can I change the outside if the inside was just chaotic and miserable and hateful, and it believed so deeply that I was not good enough to have any of those things that I wanted? In all honesty, I, yes, had all of these underlying beliefs, but my main belief was that I could not have the life that I wanted until my body looked the way that it was supposed to, that it looked the way that society told me it was supposed to look. And it never could. I had a food addiction. I had all of that stuff that I just talked about. And that's not a very good environment to live in for me to cultivate all of these wonderful things that I wanted myself to be. But it all began and ended with what my body looks like. It really, there was such an obsession with how my body looked and trying to achieve this particular ideal of what a woman is supposed to look like. And I suffered with that, suffered, pure, proper suffering with that for decades. And the truth is, no, I don't want to say that. But then I did get skinny. My body did get to that point that I had longed for a very long time. But inside, I was still a fucking mess. I still hated myself. I still had a food addiction. I still loathed everything about me. I didn't believe I was good enough. I didn't believe my life was good enough. I didn't think that my life had all of the things in it that I wanted to have in it. But yet, I can see now, from this very different perspective, that my life had just about everything I ever wanted in it. I got to travel. I got to live in America a few times, the place that I just completely obsessed about as a teenage girl. I had a lot of things. I had love. I had a wonderful husband, and I now have children, and I have a wonderful home, and I got all of these things along the way. Kind of ticked all the boxes, I guess you could say. But I didn't appreciate any of them. Some of them completely 100% no appreciation whatsoever, but there was a slight and hopefully more of an appreciation for a lot of the things I actually had in my life. But yet my mind kept telling me I didn't have this, I didn't have that, didn't. My mind was always in a state of lack. And it was all my body's fault. Honestly, I just blamed my body all the time. Yes, I blamed my body for just about everything because I didn't look the way I believed and felt that I was supposed to look, then that life that I actually had couldn't kind of marry itself to that, because I could only have all that if I looked a certain way. And even when I did look this certain way, I still couldn't reconcile the two, and I couldn't piece them together. I couldn't link them together. They were very separate. If I could only look this way that I wanted to look, then I could have all of these things that I actually fucking had in the first place. But that was the state of my mind. I was in such a deep depression. I was in full anxiety a lot of the time. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't see straight. I couldn't see what was actually in front of me. And losing our firstborn, he was a stillborn. He was born sleeping, and it was devastating, absolutely devastating. But he was such a gift. He was never meant to stay. But his presence, however short it was in our lives, it did something to me that helped me to really catapult this change that I had been searching for. And it had nothing to do with what I looked like. That obsession kind of was still there, and it still lingers in the background a little bit now. But everything had to change in here, and it had to change in here. That is when I got to the point where, well, I do love my body. It's not perfect. It's full of wobbles and stretch marks, and, it's not this ideal. But I still get to love it anyway. I get to use it in ways that I enjoy. I get to run, I get to ride my bike and go on walks and just live my daily life. It is working for me beautifully in so many different ways. It hasn't let me down in the way that I always thought that it did. My body is amazing, as it is right now, in all of its wonderful and fucked up glory. Whatever it may be, I get to love it now. I have put on quite a bit of weight over the last few years because I have begun to pause, go into the pause, menopause. I have been in perimenopause for the last probably 3 years, maybe to 4 years, and my body has put on weight. Those old thoughts and feelings like to kind of chime in every now and again and make me feel as if I'm a failure again and I'm not losing the weight and I'm disgusting and all that sort of stuff. But I now get to see it differently. I have chosen to see it differently, and I get to love myself anyway. But the best part of it actually is that it has taught me so much. I have learned so much from putting on weight. I have had all these wonderful thoughts and ideas and epiphanies about my body and my weight, things that I am excited to share, and I have been sharing on my website, lovebodywoman.com, on my Shut the Fuck Up podcast, on this YouTube channel. I get to share all of that. I really feel that I went through all of that hate and hurt and body struggles and food addiction for a reason, so that I can come out the other side and share all of these lessons that I've learned. And there has been many, and I am sharing them in many different ways. I have a new book coming out called My Food Addiction and Me. It'll be released in September. It is the 10 life lessons my food addiction has taught me, and it has truly taught me so much, and I am grateful for that. And I'm grateful to my body. I no longer hate it. I no longer think it's disgusting. I no longer loathe it with all of my heart. I get to now love it with all of my heart. I get to use my body in ways that I have always wanted to use it. I love working out. I love moving it. I love finding new, amazing ways to just be in this body and be in this life and live it with love. I have listened to the woman within. I have learned who I truly am, and I now love every single part of me again. And it feels wonderful. It is so much better, like so much better than hating myself every single fucking second of the day. What an absolute waste of my time. What an absolute waste of my life. It was exhausting and it didn't feel good, but yet I was stuck in it. It felt comfortable, and I've had to release that comfortability and find a new way of being. And even though that new way was uncomfortable, I had to work my way into being comfortable with loving my body. Our bodies are amazing. We don't all have to look the same. Why we believe that, I don't know. It's just this stupid, fucked up belief that keeps being regurgitated day after day, year after year. Be who you are in your body. Fuck everyone else. Fuck what they have to say. You don't have to look like anybody but yourself. You don't have to be anybody but yourself. You know what is right for you. You get to listen to yourself and learn who you truly are. And then you get to love every single part of yourself. And everyone else, keep their fucking opinions to themselves. All right. Thank you so much for listening to this conversation. And share with me what you think and feel about your body. You can either do it privately. My email will be in the notes. Or share it on this video, whatever way you feel comfortable with. And just tell everyone to fuck off. They do not have a say about what you look like anymore. You get to choose. So choose love. All right, I'll see you next time.